Always say something. A prize, motherfucker.
This episode is sponsored by BetterHelp. What's going on, everybody? As we all know, mental health is a huge piece for me. And recently, as I become a better version of myself, I've decided that it's time for me to go to therapy because I understand how life can be a little overwhelming and we all need help navigating through the trenches of military service in and out of uniform. BetterHelp connects you with a licensed therapist who is trained to listen and give you helpful, unbiased advice. First, all you got to do is go to their site. Matter of fact, you can use my link right here. Answer a few questions and BetterHelp will match you with a professional who has years of experience helping people with struggles just like yours. You can do it all from your phone or computer via phone call or video chat or messaging, however you feel most comfortable. It's the easiest possible way to start talking to a therapist. You will be matched to a therapist usually within 48 hours so you can get started fast. Let BetterHelp connect you to a therapist who can support you all from the comfort of your home. Visit betterhelp.com/meechspeaks and enjoy a special discount on your first month. Get into it on this Monday morning. Let's go. What's going on, everybody? It's that ordinary podcaster with the extraordinary thoughts that tells you to stop being great and be extraordinary. I'm Demetrius Thigpen, also known as Meech Speaks, and welcome back to another episode of the Talkin Crazy Podcast. Now, before we get started with this podcast, don't forget to head on over to your favorite streaming platform, whether that's Apple Podcasts or Spotify Podcasts, and leave this podcast an honest review because this podcast deserves to grow just as much as we do. I'm going to be honest, all right? This podcast is available on Pandora, YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, anywhere where you are listening, this podcast is 100% available. All right. And I say leave this podcast an honest review because those reviews matter. I read those reviews, those ratings, they matter, man. Like those little things, they matter so much to me. So I cannot stress this enough. From the bottom of my heart, because there's so many people that will see this episode and not necessarily subscribe to this episode. And damn sure if you didn't subscribe, you probably ain't leaving a rating or a review. Do me a favor and just drop that. All right. I really appreciate this. But I'm coming in. Honestly, I really feel like this might be one of my better episodes. I'm not even about to lie to you. I honestly feel like this one might be one of my better episodes. The reason why I feel rejuvenated. I feel a little rejuvenated. Now, earlier this week, I had dropped on social media like, hey, there ain't going to be no episodes this week because I'm going to be in California. And 100%, man, like I was in California all last week. You feel me? I drove in, I want to say Sunday afternoon, stayed there till Saturday morning, drove back. And I will tell you this, okay? Let me just get this off my chest. I never thought that I would say that I was so happy to be back on a Marine Corps installation a day in my life. You feel me? Man, living on an Air Force base, you feel me? Like living on an Air Force base for a year and a half, that do something to you. I ain't gonna lie to you. It do something to you. And you don't even realize what it's doing to you until you get out of it. You know what I mean? Like you get away from it. Hold on, man. I'm dropping something. I ain't even started the episode yet. But living on this base, and this is no shade to the Air Force, but man, when I tell you that it never really felt like I was on a military installation. You feel me? It never really felt like that. You know, I would see them and they just look like people that are cosplaying to be in the military, you know, like just their height and weight standards, just like the PT that I would see. Like it never really felt, maybe it's because I'm just accustomed to being around Marines, you know, like maybe it's because the Marine Corps just set this high ass standard for me that no other branch can really hold it. Like they really can't do anything with it. But I tell you, man, Immediately, soon as I got on the Marine Corps installation, I knew that I was on a Marine Corps base. You feel me? I knew I was. You feel me? It was a dude, he jogging. It was 8:00 at night. He jogging in the area. I'm like, oh man, I miss seeing that. You feel me? I was going to the PX. You know, I was heading to the PX and I saw a platoon of Marines and I knew that they was heading straight to go do like a gray belt, green belt. I knew that. You feel me? I ain't seeing that over on this base. I ain't seeing that on the Air Force base. But I knew exactly when I saw it. And I would even go on to say that I remember when I was walking, somebody said, "Good morning, Gunner Sergeant." I looked around. I turned around and looked. He hit me with the raw gunny. And I looked and I was like, who's the gunnery sergeant? Who is he talking to? Because you ain't getting that on no Air Force base. You feel me? Like you're not getting that. So it definitely felt rejuvenating. You feel me? It really felt rejuvenating to be back around my people. You feel me? It really felt rejuvenating to be around the thing that I've grew up in or grew up around for the past like 16 years. You feel me? But this episode, right? Let's get into this episode real quick, because this episode, especially as we close out this year, I know a lot of us are doing this. You feel me? Like I know a lot of us are doing this, but we're reflecting. You feel me? We're reflecting. We are changing the direction or the course of our lives. You know what I mean? We're recharging. You feel me? And this episode is really about that, you know, because as I was sitting on that base, it made me realize, and I'm going to just be 100% honest with you. You know, I was in California for the MEPS course, and I'm going to get into, you know, what that is and what's going on with it. But I was there, and as I was there, I was recharging. You feel me? Like I was recharging. And I'm going to just say this, man, because I don't know who need to hear this, but you don't really know how tired you are until you ain't tired anymore. Come on now. I'm going to say it again. You never know how tired you are until you ain't tired anymore. You feel me? Like you ain't tired anymore. And I'm sitting there because I'm not on the bag anymore. I'm not worried about recruiting somebody no more. I'm not necessarily worried about this whole, dang, I need to hurry up and call this kid. I need to find this kid. My phone ain't right. I ain't worried about that right now. I'm here focusing on the MEPS course. You feel me? Like the Military Enlisted Processing Station. I'm focusing on that. You know, and my job is changing. My responsibilities are changing. And it really hit me while I was out there. It really hit me how much energy really matters. You know, like when you get around a different crowd of people, people matter, you know, and I think that was one of the biggest pieces right there. It really comes down to the type of people you're around. I'm not saying that my team was bad at all, but when we're all worried about, you know, one big thing like the mission monkey, it does become a little draining because we're all thinking about the play that we need to make in order to be successful. Whereas I'm around a whole bunch of people that are in a position of learning. We're focusing on attention to detail. We're focusing on quality. So that perspective changed. Seeing old faces. Man, oh my God, seeing old faces. You don't realize, man, like how rejuvenating it is when you come across somebody and you laughing again. You laughing in a way that you ain't laughed in a minute. You know what I mean? You know, you happy just to see them. You happy to see how successful they are, you know, and I came across a lot of people. Shout out to the people that recognize me from social media. You know, once again, that will always catch me off guard because I never realized how many people actually see me. But at the end of the day, you know, as we talk about recharging, redirection, and just reflection, you feel me? I will say right now, the recharge, man, like just changing the environment, changing the people, just changing the perspective of things. Or let me rephrase that, changing these things allowed me to change my perspective. Now, going into the MEPS topic. There it is right there. Going into the MEPS topic. So for those who don't know, I came out here 2024 recruiter man. I was a recruiter man. You feel me? Still a recruiter man, just doing a different job now. But I came out here, graduated BRC, I want to say in the beginning of 2024, got to my area roughly around like May, and I hit the ground running. Boy, I tell you, recruiting duty was beating my ass in the beginning. I used to hate when people would come up to me talking about, hey, how's recruiting duty? Brother, it's beating me down. You feel me? I had to ask myself a lot of times, like, what the fuck are we doing? Why are we out here? And I want to say I got there in May. And I think this is honestly like the first time I really even talked about this out loud, you know, because I was just like, I wonder when the time would come. But roughly around, I'll say November, I was dealing with a situation with somebody at my job. I ain't going to get into the logistics of it, but we were going back and forth. You feel me? And by like December, there was a workplace conflict and I had to be removed. You feel me? I had to be removed and I pretty much got pulled off the bag. I was so embarrassed, bro. You feel me? I was so fucking embarrassed, because you hear stories about people that come out on these hard ass duties and they don't accomplish it. You feel me? And I remember saying to myself, like, damn, bro, you about to be one of those. You know what I mean? Like, everybody knows who the fuck you are. And here you are not doing the thing that you honestly are fucking good at. You see what I'm saying? You know how to talk. You know how to, come on, bro. What the hell are we doing? And I'm sat down. You feel me? I'm on the bench. And during that time, right, an opportunity came up. And it was either I was going to sit at the company or I was going to sit over at MEPS. Now, once again, usually when you hear about these type of situations and you end up working over at MEPS, people assume that you couldn't do the job. But at the same time, I didn't want to sit at the fucking company either, and seeing everybody come in and seeing me looking sad as fuck. So I was grateful that I got pulled over to MEPS. And I was up there for December, January, and February. I was up there. That's why, like, earlier in the year, a lot of people would see me in camis and shit like that. And I used to hate when people would say, hey, how's recruiting duty? Brother, I don't know. I'm on the bench right now. I'm on the bench right now. And I remember sitting up there and I was talking to my mom. And she was asking me, because she knew the situation and she knew how stressed out I was and how I was worried and what was going on. And she was like, well, how's the new job? And I was like, to be honest with you, I like it. You feel me? I like the routine. I like the admin side of it. I like this job. I had no issues with it. But the one thing that kept bothering me, you feel me, was that I didn't feel like I was doing what I came out here to do. I wasn't serving my purpose. You feel me? And I'm going to stop for a second because I don't know who need to hear this. But a lot of us end up in situations and we realize like, yeah, this is good. I love this. I like this. I can see myself doing this. But at the exact same time, I can't do this because I don't feel like I'm serving my purpose. You feel me? And that piece right there, right? Like that piece right there, no matter how good you are at it, if you don't feel like you're serving your purpose, it's always going to feel like somebody's pulling you into a different direction. You're going to feel like you're not living up to your full potential. And that's exactly how I felt. You know what I mean? Like I felt like I just wasn't living in my full potential. Even though this is honestly on paper the better idea. You feel me? It's the better alternative. I'm not serving my purpose. I'm not in the trenches. I'm not a top performer. I'm not with the guys. I'm not making plays. You feel me? I'm not. I'm behind the scenes and I didn't like that. I just didn't. So when the opportunity came up, right? So I want to say roughly about mid-February, I start hearing, little conversations. And they asked me, they said, Thick Pen, do you want to stay where you're at right now? Because, you're filling a void. Do you want to stay or do you want to go back on the bag? Do you want to go back in the trenches? And when I tell you, I sat with that. I sat with it because I was thinking to myself like, man, dude, if you know recruiting duty, them hours, man. I was coming home to see my kids. Now I could stay with this. I could stay with this routine. I could stay with this and do this my entire time. But I felt like my ego was fractured. My pride was bruised. I didn't feel right with that. And I looked at him, I said, man, send me back to the trenches. Against my better judgment. Send me back to the trenches. And that's exactly what they did. March, I went back on the bag again. And I started fucking making plays. You see what I'm saying? I was making plays. I came across a team. You feel me? And I'm around a group of gentlemen that we could really do this, And I was having fun. I was really having fun. And that's when everybody had heard in March, I had got selected for gunnery sergeant and I got promoted. And it was so crazy what 2 months could do. You know what I mean? But here's the thing. It's December again, right? It's December again. And I'm back at MEPS. And this time around, hey, I got to stop for a second because I kind of led that one. Hold on. Not in trouble. Not for any alternative reason. None of that. All right? I'm back there again because one, I'm a gunner sergeant, all right, on recruiting duty. Two, I don't have. I plan on going back to the fleet. There it is, right there. I plan on going back to the fleet because I love Marines. I love leading Marines. I love training Marines, and I knew right during that time while I was making plays. And I want to stop for a second because it's easy, right? It's so fucking easy to complain about something when something's not working for you. When something's not working for you, it's so easy to dislike it. It's so easy to not want to do it. And I remember, you feel me? I remember last year in 2024, I was so irritated, so upset, so nasty, so negative because nothing was working for me. 2025, I'm making plays that I didn't even think that I could make. I'm around people that we're setting ourselves up for success. You see what I'm saying? And I say that to say it was easy for me to say, no, I don't want to do this when I was losing. When it came up again and they said, hey, if you had the opportunity to work at MEPS, would you take it? I had just dropped 2 contracts and I still said yes. I brain that up, man, and I want to stop. I just want to stop for a second because a lot of times, man, we will walk away from something. We will quit something. We will not do it because it's not working for us. You feel me? You may be right. You may be right. Like it may not be for you, but you don't know that. And when you walk away from something when you were losing, you don't know if you would have changed your perspective if you were winning. You feel me? You don't fucking know that because you were losing. And the only perspective, and now you're going to leave with a negative taste in your mouth. You feel me? You're going to leave with a negative taste in your mouth because you were fucking losing when you walked away. When that question came up to me again, I was winning. I was winning. My entire mindset had changed, bro. Like it had changed. And I said, no, I'll go back up there. I literally came back out here and I did exactly what y'all thought, what people thought that I wouldn't be able to do. I did it. I'm around a group of guys. You know, I would love to continue to keep working with them, but at the exact same time, long term, I see the bigger picture. But most importantly, I'm able to see that picture while I'm winning. You feel me? While I'm winning. So I took it. Replacement came, and now here I am, December, I work at MEPS again, all right? Work at MEPS, all right? And y'all can, I know some recruiters that probably look up my APR. You can do that. You can look up my APR. I'm pretty sure you follow me on social media. You can look at, or fucking call the recruiting office and ask them how thick Ben did. They're going to tell you I did good. But I'm back. And I thought that was so fucking crazy that here it is, man, a year ago. I'm back in the same place, but I'm a different person now. You feel me? I'm back in the same place, but I got a different perspective. And it didn't even hit me, man. Like it really didn't even hit me until I was talking to my mom. Now, mind you, my mom knew about the entire time, knew what was going on the entire time I was on recruiting duty. And I remember talking to her. And she was the one that had told me, like, maybe you should stay up here. And I told her, Mom, man, like that just don't sit right with me. So when I told her this morning, you feel me? Like a shout out to Big Wanda for this. But when I told her this morning, she was like, ain't that crazy? How this was all a part of the plan the whole time? And when she said that, I damn near stopped my car in the middle of the street because she hit me with something. This was a part of the plan the entire time. You feel me? I don't think y'all really, I don't think nobody hearing me right now. I sound like a preacher, but this was a part of the plan the entire time. And it's so crazy how things tend to play themselves out. It's so crazy how things tend to work themselves out. You feel me? If I would have took it in the beginning, you feel me? Like if I would have stayed there in the beginning, I would have had this yearning feeling to go back to the trenches. I would have had this unfulfilled feeling. You know what I mean? I would have had this bruised ego. I would have had this feeling of inadequacy because I didn't really do it. And here it is now, I take that, I go back out there. You feel me? I go back out there. I do the damn thing. You feel me? I do the damn thing. Come on. And I get hit with the opportunity again. And now here I am in the same place I was at. Same place I was at last year. Different perspective, This time I'm not up there because I'm in trouble. All right, I'm not up there because I was in trouble. I'm up here because the opportunity was able to come back around. And I bring that up, man, because as we talk about recharging, as we talk about redirection, as we talk about reflection, you feel me? These things, man, it's like a triangle. It's almost a circle of how they work themselves out, man. Like going to California allowed me to recharge a little bit. You feel me? And I bring that up because I know it's somebody right now that's in that type of season. You feel me? You in that season right now where shit ain't been working in your fucking favor. You probably in that season where you've been making plays nonstop to set yourself up. And now you get this opportunity to recharge. You feel me? And I'm going to tell you, recharge on purpose. And that's exactly what I did when I was in California. I recharged on purpose because you don't know what's coming next. But I will also say this. It's a lot of people that are thinking that they missed the opportunity. That opportunity ain't going to never come back around. You feel me? You ain't gonna never get a chance to be able to do this again. And then it does. That's redirection. It was like I took a detour. You feel me? It was like almost, man, you know what? I'm gonna just say it exactly how it is. It was almost like God was like, look, bro, I'm trying to give you something, but you so fucking ungrateful. You so fucking, you wanna do everything. You so, man, you know what? Fine then. Go back out in the trenches. See how it is. Make the fucking play already. And that's exactly like how some of y'all is. You got what you really need right here, but you ain't going to be able to use it. You ain't going to be satisfied with it until you do this first. You got unfinished business. So go ahead, bro. Go finish the business first. Go finish your business. And now here it is. The opportunity done came back around. And you like, God damn, ain't that crazy? And that's exactly what happened. I had unfinished business. I finished the business, and now here's the opportunity again. And that's the reflection. Here I am, man, sitting back, dude, and I remember making an episode during that time, and I was just in fucking shambles, bro, because I just did not know what was about to happen in my near future. And now here I am making an episode just a year later, bro. The same place, same fucking place, just with a different perspective. Grateful. You feel me? Grateful. I remember coming in, closing this year out, just praying that 2025 be good to me. You feel me? I was praying for the bare minimum in 2025. I was asking 2024. I said, look, man, please let me come into 25 with something. And I got everything. And I got fucking everything. A new position. A new perspective, a new promotion, a second chance. So I don't know who need to hear this. And as we close this episode out and as we get closer to closing this year out, don't worry, I got a couple of more of these lined up. But I want to tell you that I know you probably in a season. This probably wasn't your best year. You feel me? Or it probably was your best year. You feel me? It probably was. But I want you to take that moment to recharge on purpose. Acknowledge the redirection, and take a moment to reflect, because we got a lot more coming. And just like that, another extraordinary thought left this ordinary mind. I hope you enjoyed this episode half as much as I enjoyed making it. Don't forget to head on over to your favorite streaming platform, whether that's Apple Podcasts or Spotify Podcasts, and leave this podcast an honest review, because this podcast deserves to grow just as much as we do. Also, don't forget to head on over to TikTok or Instagram and follow me at Meech Speaks. That's right, Meech Speaks. Meech is spelled MEECH. Stay motivated, stay healthy. I'm out.